Shalom, all praise, honor, and glory. Going to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem, Grakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Salutation to you, occupants out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going down the streets, teaching and preaching. This is your brother, Nayat, and I'm back with a quick news update. Well, it's a whole bunch of videos. You see on the screen, I got about 12 videos, so without further ado, I'm going to get into it. These are for educational purposes only. Again, this is for educational purposes only.
And Trump gonna help us to get money. Well, y'all see the economy, you see the stock market, you see what's going on, you see all of this unprecedented amount of power and access he's given to a man named Elon Musk because he donated over $250 million to his campaign. I didn't really know that politicians were actually for sale. And Trump gonna help us to get.
We are 100% confident that we've complied, and as I said from the podium and will continue to say, all of the flights that were subject to the written order of the judge took off before the written order was pushed in the courtroom, and the president is well within his Article 2 power and his authority under the Alien Enemies Act to make these decisions, and we think it's egregious that a single district judge is trying to tell the president of the United States who he can and cannot deport from our soil, especially when it comes to designated foreign terrorists. We are 100% confident that.
Also today, they are firing another 1,000 people who work at the National Weather Service and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. This is the agency that gives us hurricane warnings, tornado warnings, flood warnings, tsunami warnings. They warn about avalanches. They provide navigation information to ships. They provide crucial information to the commercial fishing industry. This is who monitors geomagnetic storms that can affect the electrical grid from space. This is the agency from which we get the weather forecast. With this new round of 1,000 more people being fired from NOAA, Trump will have fired basically 1 out of every 4 people who works at that whole agency. Boy, that sounds like a popular thing, right? Sure, if there's one thing Americans have surely felt is wasteful, it's having a weather forecast or a tornado warning when one's coming. What a luxury. That's so liberal. That's so liberal. Please. Tornado warnings. Snowflakes. Today, nearly 80% of schools in Colorado are closed because teachers are at the state capitol protesting newly proposed cuts to public education. The Denver Teachers Union says they're worried the new proposal could cause layoffs and balloon class sizes, hurting students in the process.
We are seeing and hearing a lot. Thousands of teachers expected here on the steps of the Colorado State Capitol, and you're getting a glimpse of just a few of them right now. They are still showing up as we speak because they're protesting specifically 2 things. How schools are funded in the state of Colorado and millions that were promised last year that are now in limbo because the state of Colorado is facing a $1.2 billion budget shortfall. And as we kind of walk around this crowd here, you're going to see educators from all over the entire state here, Chris, that have come up to make sure that their voices are heard.
It's scary because it's coming from the state and from the federal, so we just don't feel like there's any solace. We're kind of in this pincer movement of like, where is this funding going to come from?
Do you feel your classroom could be compromised?
Absolutely. We do absolutely the best that we can with what we've got, but it's harder and harder, and we've got less and less.
And in response, Colorado Governor Jared Polis is saying this. He's canceling school that at the last minute in several districts will put strains and hardships on parents and will leave kids without instruction and many without a safe place to go. Let's remember that nearly 70% of third graders can't read or do math on grade level, and this leaves parents scrambling to find care. there. I spoke to one special education teacher just a short time ago. He says every day when he wakes up, Chris, he doesn't know how his kids are going to be in the future, not just a week from now, but a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. He says that too often people use kids are the most important thing in our lives as a political talking point, but that actions have not followed through, and that's why he has joined so many others here to make sure that Colorado educators are heard loud and clear here.
Fox News alert, President Trump is standing strong against the growing list of lawfare liberal lawsuits against him. One of the fights is over his effort to deport hundreds of alleged Venezuelan gang members, the worst of the worst. Many convicted of violent crimes and here illegally.
Former President Donald Trump is facing a legal storm as multiple injunctions have been issued against his latest executive orders, sparking intense political and legal battles. The wave of court rulings, described by Trump and his allies as lawfare, comes as his policies continue to draw sharp opposition from various legal and political groups. The injunctions, filed by both state attorneys and advocacy organizations, are aimed at halting key measures introduced by Trump, citing concerns over their legality and potential consequences. Critics argue that these rulings are necessary checks on executive power, while Trump supporters claim they are politically motivated attempts to undermine his leadership. Speaking out on the issue, Trump called the rulings an unprecedented obstruction, emphasizing his belief that the legal system is being used as a tool against him. His legal team has vowed to challenge the decisions, setting the stage for a prolonged court battle that could shape the future of his political agenda. With tensions rising, the legal fights surrounding Trump's policies are expected to continue, adding another layer of complexity to the already charged political climate. As both sides prepare for their next moves,
we begin with this Fox News alert. President Trump.
The judges in this country are acting erroneously. We have judges who are acting as partisan activists from the bench. They are trying to dictate policy from the President of the United States. They are trying to clearly slow walk this administration's agenda, and it's unacceptable. 67% of all of the injunctions in this century have come against which president? Donald J. Trump. Let me say that again. 60% of the injunctions by partisan activists in the judicial branch have come against President Donald Trump, and 92% of those have been from Democrat-appointed judges. This is a clear, concerted effort by leftists who don't like this president and are trying to impose or slow down his agenda.
Last week, I am a firm believer that President Trump.
The judge.
I am a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century. If lucky, I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028. You know he's.
See, these devils, they want this shit to continue on, man. Man, these people want this shit to continue, man. This shit not going. I can't wait until y'all about Shmi Shah come back, man.
Term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it.
Please. Last week, I spent some time with two government officials from Canada. And I was asking them how realistic is it that Canada would be the 51st state. Yeah. And they told me there is a path. Alberta is first, and if they sign on, Saskatchewan would follow, and then you go west to British Columbia. There is a movement in Canada to join us. I want to get your thoughts on that and how that's perceived.
So it's true. Thank you, Brian. It's true. A lot of people in Canada are liking becoming our beautiful, cherished 51st state. They'll have to pay much lower taxes. They'll have the ultimate security. You know, they don't pay very much for security right now because they rely on us, which is really unfair to us. They make cars that we could make, and they send them back into the United States. They make a lot of things, including the sending of oil and everything. We don't need their oil. We don't need their lumber. In fact, we're going to be freeing up, and I've asked Howard Lutnick to get that done with Lee and everybody, Lee Zeldin, environmental. We're freeing up our forests. We're going to be able to take down trees. Right now, you know, we're so restricted environmentally. We're going to be freeing it up with an emergency order. We have an emergency order, and we're going to be freeing up our forests. We have more forests than almost anybody, and great lumber, great trees. We don't need anybody's trees. We don't need trees from Canada or anybody else. In fact, we have to put the slits, as they call them, the area, 50.
First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism.
So you can see right here, the last video, you know, that wasn't like no news or nothing, but I figured I'd put that video in. It says missing Ukrainian model found by the side of a road in Dubai with her spine, arms, and legs broken after a party. So with that, give all praises, glory going to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabbat, Shem Kakadash. Until next time, Shalom.